Imagine a moment you might have experienced. You're about to do something important. Maybe an exam, maybe a presentation, maybe an interview. Your heart is racing, your mind is loud. You're thinking, what if I mess up? What will people think? Now imagine that moment, but instead of one teacher, one interviewer, or one classroom watching you, millions of people are watching. Cameras are on you, social media is ready to judge you, your coaches expect perfection, your teammates rely on you. Your entire career may depend on a few seconds. This is the reality many athletes live in, and yet for decades they have been expected to be mentally unbreakable, strong, focused, tough, always performing. So here's the idea I want to explore today. Athletes' mental health isn't only reliant on the athlete themselves, but on the environment we build around them. Now let's start with something important. Athletes aren't only the Division I players we see on our screens. Athletes can be our friends, family, or anyone we know that plays the sport and dedicates a lot to it. Now these athletes are often seen as symbols of strength, but they're also just human beings under extraordinary pressure. Who builds the environment around athletes? Coaches? A supportive coach can completely transform an athlete's experience. They can create an environment where mistakes are part of learning, where mental health is taken seriously, and where communication is open, while toxic coaching environment can do the exact opposite. Teammates are also a huge factor in shaping the environment around athletes. When teams promote trust, respect, and honesty, athletes feel safe speaking about their struggles. But when teams lack these values, athletes often stay silent about their struggles, and that makes them grow. Now, another factor shaping athletes' mental health is something that didn't exist for many decades in the past: social media. Professional athletes are no longer just performing for the audience in the stadium, they're performing for millions of people online. Every mistake is shared, every performance is analyzed, every loss becomes a trending topic. Now this creates levels of pressure that didn't exist for many generations in the past. Many athletes have spoken up openly about this. For example, tennis champion Naomi Osaka withdrew from the 2021 French Open, explaining that public pressure and media obligations are harming her mental health. Similarly, Olympic gymnast Simone Biles withdrew from several events in the 2020 Summer Olympics, claiming that her mental well-being was being destroyed. Now, these moments spark global conversations. Some people praise these athletes for standing up about their health and their well-being. Others judge them completely, saying that elite athletes are trained to perform under pressure and that they should be able to handle this pressure. Now this brings us to an important counter-argument. Pressure can build resilience and can be required to control by athletes. But at the same time, there's a difference between healthy pressure and harmful environments. Healthy pressure pushes an athlete beyond their limits while protecting their emotional well-being. Harmful environments pushes athletes beyond their limits without protecting their emotional well-being and disregarding the fact that they are humans. Now, even with a healthy environment, athletes can still fall. Because obstacles exist, injuries exist, fear exists, lack of motivation exists, tough competition exists, and most importantly, burnout exists. That's why, for all the athletes out there, I want you to remember this. They see the game, they don't see the tears, they don't see the doubts, they don't see the silent battles. They see the shot, the choreography, the performance, they don't see the fear behind taking it. I am a basketball player. But before that, I'm just a girl trying to figure out who she really is in a world that keeps on telling her who she should be. Basketball taught me something powerful. Not how to shoot, not how to pass, but how to fall and still rise. Because sometimes rising is quiet. Sometimes rising is staying when quitting feels easier. Sometimes rising is staying when you feel like you don't belong. Now, basketball also taught me something else that's really important. The scoreboard never tells the whole story. It doesn't show discipline, it doesn't show the fear you had to face, and it doesn't show the courage it took just to stay in the game. And life is exactly the same. Some rises happen quietly, when no one's watching, when no one's clapping, when no one's cheering, when it's just you deciding not to disappear. Now, rising is not always standing tall. Rising is just being who you are. Being rooted is knowing who you are. It's being rooted in your values, in your effort, in your story. Maybe you're not a basketball player. Maybe your court is a stage, a classroom, a mirror, a family, a friendship. Whatever it is, I want you to remember this. They may see the game, but only you know what it costs to stay in it. So the next time you fail, I want you to remember this. Don't ask yourself, am I good enough? Ask yourself, what am I becoming? Because sometimes the strongest rise isn't standing tall, it's standing again. Thank you.